Damon Khan here for Seconds Out with Harlem Eubank in Brighton. March 7th, season face Tyron McKenna. Harlem, when Tyron McKenna was put towards you, what did you think before you signed the dotted line?
I loved it. I loved the fight. I've watched him, over the years in with some of the best in the country, and he's operated at a high level. So I was excited to hear that name put to me, and now I'm just looking forward to going in there and proving a point.
I imagine you expected nothing less during the press conference to see someone who was fired up and ready and still had ambition and desire to get victories and have a bit of spice and back and forth between you two in the press conference.
That is Tyrone McKenna. That's exactly what it says on the label. He comes and he tries to bring the fire. His nickname's War McKenna. He's the pride of Irish boxing. So that is exactly the matchup that starts to get me excited, and that's how we wanted to start the year.
Once you step out the shadow of the Eubank name, but of course you carry that with pride. It was referenced that Eubanks versus the Irish. Are you carrying that with you? Carrying that little bit of pressure into this, that you've got to uphold the Eubank tradition?
100%. That's legacy. There's a lot of history made, by my uncle against the Irish, and the Irish fight fans. They know what they're looking at. They really appreciate boxing, and they've got some of the best fans in the world. So I'm excited to show them as well what I'm about on Fight Night.
I'd like to give you a further right reply to some of Tyron McKenna's comments. He suggested that you've been guided to 20-0 against your previous opponents. What would you say to that?
I would say, he doesn't have a clue what he's talking about. He's been in there at a high level, but my best win is just as good as his best win. He's operated at a high level. He's been in there with great fighters, but ultimately, it's about, can you come out on top? That's what matters. And I don't think he knows me very well from what he's seen. I think he's going to be in for a big shock on Fight Night.
Imagine you say this similar sort of thing to the second comment that I picked up on. He said that he was planning to break your heart. Is that in you? Is your will able to be broken on a fight night?
You've never seen it before. I've never seen it behind closed doors or on Fight Night. So he's going to struggle to fulfill that promise. And I think sometimes you bring a war to the wrong person, and he's bitten off more than he can chew here.
Did you feel, looking back at the fight against Erdogan, that it was you being less than what you usually are in the ring? Kala said that he takes that matchmaking on the chin, but how do you reflect on that fight?
It was just a shakeout to dust off the cobwebs against an awkward guy that had plenty of time to study to try and make it a fight where he doesn't take too much damage, a fight where he tries to spoil and it was, from my side, just a dusting off of the cobwebs. From his side, it was a world title opportunity and to come and try and spoil the work. So, when that combination, when those two things collide, sometimes it brings an awkward watch, and that's all it was. Now it's time to get to serious business.
IBF title here on the line, of course not the full title, but one that will get you ranked higher. What's the plan for you in 2025 if you could sum it for yourself?
Looking to have a huge year, and you can see that by the way I'm starting the year with a huge domestic fight like this. So I'm not looking past Tyrone in terms of what I want for the year. I'm fully focused on going in there and proving a point and breaking Tyrone McKenna 7th of March.
Do you think you get the Adam Azim fight this year? Is it on your radar? Is that something that's top of your list?
It was top of the list for a year that I was trying to make it happen, and it didn't happen. So it's paused for now, but I've done the preparation. So whenever that comes back around, we're ready to take him out. But for now, full focus on Tyrone McKenna, and we'll be marching towards world title opportunity.
You always come across as ice in your veins, but was it a source of frustration for you for quite a period of time, that Azim fight?
100%. Most frustrating time in my career, and we won't be heading back to waiting around for big fights. We're here to stay active and make sure I can continue to show the best of me each and every time. And we're facing big domestic opposition. That's what I'm about.
How do you feel it gets on against Lipinets this weekend?
I don't know, and I don't really care.
Fair enough. Just want to ask you as well, your uncle, Eubank Jr, is he still affiliated with you? What's the situation there? Will he be there on Fight Night?
He'll forever be affiliated with me. That's my uncle, you know. He may be there on Fight Night. I'm not too sure yet. I need to catch up with him close to the time and see. But I'm sure he'll want to be there and want to be involved as well. So it's always great to have him in person or, you know, a phone call away. So yeah, it's invaluable, you know, when he's around.
He is a phone call away for many now. He's launched the YouTube channel called Chris Eubank. Have you seen that? Have you enjoyed it?
You asked him any questions yet?
No, I thought about it. I've got the number here actually, but I haven't sent a message. I've sent an email hoping to speak to Eubank Jr soon, but I haven't sent a message to that channel just yet.
Yeah, ask him any question you want. I'm sure I'll be happy to answer.
Yeah, it looks readily available now. Look, Harlem, I imagine you've had a lot of questions about this, and I will follow up with a few more as well too about Eubank Jr versus Conor Benn. The thing I wanted to ask you about is the hydration clause, and I read an article from Boxing Scene that suggested 2 years ago he said that he rehydrates about 5 pounds above middleweight, so maybe wouldn't need the 170 in full effect. How do you feel the 170 hydration clause will affect Eubank Jr on the night?
He doesn't hydrate 5 pounds above middleweight. He may hydrate 5 or 6 pounds above super middleweight.
Okay.
So that can maybe cause some confusion, you know, that in terms of how people view it. But you know, if you're serious about fighting, you don't put in rehydration clauses. As Bomac just said with reference to Terence Crawford vs Canelo. He said, you know, if we're not going to put in a rehydration clause, we're the ones that want to fight. You know, we go up and fight the man at his own weight. And, you know, as he said, it would be cowardly to do anything otherwise. So that's how you approach a fight. You know, if you want to fight a heavier man, go up there to his weight class and you know, don't fiddle around with rehydration clauses.
I don't want to put words in your mouth, but just want to read directly between, not quite in the lines, but what you were saying there. But you feel Conor Benn is being cowardly by putting this rehydration clause on Eubank Jr?
Well, he's been saying for 2 years that he'll fight him at any weight class, and you know, when it gets down to business, there's rehydration clauses. So, you know, it doesn't take too much to read between them lines for me, as I'm sure it doesn't for anyone else.
How do you think it will affect the fight? Do you think Eubank Jr still goes in a favourite in the fight?
I think any version of Chris Eubank Jr is a mismatch for Conor Benn.
What about yourself on Conor Benn? Look, you've wanted that fight. He's obviously thrown some shade your way, but do you think that's a fight that you will get to be in the ring with him either this year, next year, or in the future?
I think it's a fight that, you know, he's petrified of. So you have to ask them that question because, you know, you know what answer you get from me, but they're petrified. So it's a fight that may take longer from their side to make, but whenever they're ready, we can make it happen.
So 2 final questions. If there's one warning you'd give to Eubank Jr as to what he has to face in front of him with Conor Benn, his assets, what would you say is the danger that he does pose to him?
There is no danger. The rehydration, that's the danger. You know, the rehydration clauses, as far as what he presents, as I said, any version of Chris is a complete mismatch. But yeah, you know, I'm happy for Chris that, you know, he finally gets to do what he's said he's going to do for the last 3 years and finally got the opportunity to do it. But in terms of a fight, it's a mismatch.
Final thing, March 7th, you against Tyron McKenna, promises to be an exciting fight. What happens in the ring?
I want to go in there and break him. You know, it's going to be a firefight. You know, it's going to be fireworks. He's going to come and try and bring a war, and you know, I'm going to put his fire out.
Harlem, pleasure. Thanks for being SecondsOut.